On her first day as a waitress at the local restaurant, Kate was already faced with an unusual assignment. "Okay, Kate, since you're the new girl, you'll be taking table 13, her coworker Paul said as she adjusted her apron. The restaurant was busiest during lunch hours, and Kate had mentally noted her customers to make a good impression. However, as she approached table 13, a wave of unease washed over her. Paul, noticing her reaction, cautioned, "Get ready. That's Mr. Hayes. He's notoriously difficult, and none of us enjoy serving him." With unwavering confidence, Kate replied, "I can handle anything." However, she soon realized that dismissing Paul's words so easily was a mistake. Mr. Hayes, seated at the table, appeared to be an ordinary elderly man. As Kate approached the table with a friendly smile, Mr. Hayes scoffed, "Who are you?" Kate maintained her cheerful demeanor. "I'm Kate. What would you like to drink today?" In a gruff tone, Mr. Hayes responded, "I always have the same thing, and you ask me that every time. Iced tea, but not too cold or too sweet, with 2 lemon wedges and a straw." Kate made a note of his preferences and continued, "Certainly. And what would you like for lunch?" Mr. Hayes replied abruptly, "Not yet. Go away and bring me my iced tea." Confused by his curt behavior, Kate fetched the iced tea, noting his unique preferences. Mr. Hayes was incredibly particular, first complaining that it was too sweet, then too cold. His lemon wedges didn't have enough juice, and even his straw was a cause for dissatisfaction. Kate attempted to explain that they now use paper straws, but Mr. Hayes remained dissatisfied. "Fine, I want the lasagna," he grumbled, tossing the menu onto her tray. Despite Kate's unwavering smile, she couldn't help but find the situation challenging. Mr. Hayes' pickiness had extended the time he spent at the table. By the time he finally finished his meal, 6 other families had been served. After her first day of serving Mr. Hayes, Kate confided in Paul, "I should have listened to you." Paul chuckled, "We're sorry, but someone has to deal with him." Nonetheless, Kate refused to let one difficult customer dampen her spirits. She was doing this job for her kids, 5 of them waiting at home. Her husband, Scott, worked long hours to support the family, but it wasn't always enough. Kate had returned to work to provide a better life for her children, thanks to her mother, who had graciously offered to watch the younger ones while she worked. Nevertheless, Kate was exhausted upon returning home each night, leaving her with little time for her children. She made a promise to herself to do better in spending time with her kids, but every day was more trying and demanding. Serving Mr. Hayes and dealing with other customers made her job more challenging than when she was younger. Yet, despite the hardships, she took solace in the generous tips she received over the years. She continued to serve Mr. Hayes, and something about her patient attitude impressed her colleagues. Though he could be gruff and demanding, she learned to be patient and even discovered snippets about his life. Despite his frequent complaints, Mr. Hayes always left a generous 15% tip. However, one day when Kate went to collect Mr. Hayes' tip, she found the note instead. It read, "Dear Kate, thank you for enduring this old grump for so long. I am going to a special hospice facility and I won't be returning. Here's the key to my house. It's yours. I'll leave my lawyer's card so you can officially arrange everything. Goodbye, dear. P.S. My tea was too sweet, but I didn't complain. My time is coming." Kate was in disbelief. Why would he leave his house to a stranger? Did he have no family? She decided to contact his lawyer to inquire about the hospice facility to get some answers. When she visited him, she found Mr. Hayes in fragile health. She hadn't noticed this at the restaurant. He repeated the contents of the note, and she was taken aback. "Why? What about your family?" Kate inquired. Mr. Hayes explained, "I don't have a family. I haven't seen or heard from them in many years. I was grumpy to everyone in my life for as long as I could remember. The only person who ever dealt with me with a big smile was you. So keep that house for your big family. It's spacious, meant for people like you who can be patient with old folks." Overwhelmed with emotions, Kate broke down in tears. She couldn't believe how much Mr. Hayes' presence had come to mean to her. The thought of never seeing him again was unbearable. She couldn't bear the idea of him dying alone. Consequently, she took her children to visit Mr. Hayes, and for the first time in years, she witnessed him smile. That moment meant more to her than any tip she had ever received. A few weeks later, Mr. Hayes passed away, leaving Kate his house. His lawyer informed her that his family had no interest in his estate, so everything was left to her. While there wasn't much, the house was a significant blessing for her large family. Her children were excited to have their own rooms, and both Kate and her husband received promotions at work, enhancing their financial stability. Grateful for their good fortune, they made a point to volunteer at the local senior center in Mr. Hayes' memory. Kate always paid special attention to the older patrons with difficult attitudes, recognizing that grumpiness often concealed deeper struggles.